hope you don't mind. We decided that we can incorporate the children's presentation because you guys were really listening. So, yes, the two pictures are taken from the, let me think of it, the whole long name. I bet I got it on the next one.
Yes.
There it is, Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley Humanitarian Respite Center in McAllen, Texas. Now, when we were there, we were serving about 300 to 500 people a day. We talked to them, and they are now over 1,000 a day that come in 24/7. When we were there, the 300 to 500 people came between the hours of 2 and 5. Okay. Yes?
Could you differentiate between asylum seekers and what you're doing here?
Asylum seekers, by the way, immigrant, asylum seekers, refugees are often used interchangeably. Not exactly correct. Refugees are considered anyone that is leaving their country because the country there's an identified problem. Now, you could be a refugee because you're in a major drought and there is, there is war, there is violence. There are lots of reasons you can be a refugee. The asylum seekers are the words that we use to describe the people who have actually passed all the tests to be in the United States. They ask to come because of asylum, because of government or war issues, or those specifically. This humanitarians worked only with the legal. These, you can see a bus back there, that is a security bus from the border. They bring the people, drop them off at the center. The role of the center is to make sure that, I think I've got it, they would welcome the immigrants. That's why hola, 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 and vaya con Dios and other such things, okay? We offer a place of respite and provide enough, whatever enough is. That's Claire actually hugging someone. They run up to you and they hug. They are so excited. They bend down.
Oh, hi. I noticed when we got there that I thought they needed a greeting, more of a greeting when they come in, because they get off the bus and they've just finished their trip and they've just gone through the border patrol stuff, and they're usually very tired and exhausted looking and malnourished, and just, it's...
They have nothing when they get off.
No.
Not even shoelaces.
Yeah, so they often would get off the bus, fall on the ground, praying to heaven for standing in the United States, cry. And so we just started hugging them and welcoming them. And, it's something else to see them, these people get off after this, 1,000-mile walk, and they're actually in the United States. So I thought, one of their first memories should be a positive greeting, like, welcome, we are so happy you're here. And so I decided to do that, which was one of the wonderful things about, and then other people followed along. One of the wonderful things about it is that, about working there, is that if you see a need, you respond to it. And it was wonderfully freeing. It was probably the best place I ever worked. I loved it.
Yeah, the rule was, we don't have time to take care of you. Take care of yourself as a volunteer. If you see something that needs to be done and you think you can do it, do it. We don't have time to figure it all out. Okay. And that was when they were only having 300 people come in. One other piece you should know, the respite center, as soon as the bus arrived and the people arrived at the door to walk in and started coming in, all the staff stopped and clapped. It would make you cry.
Well, it did.
Mm-hmm. There they are. They're being clapped as they come in. This is what we did. The two pictures on the side over here, the left side, that's the bathroom. And the trailer underneath is the shower trailer.
That's a typical room where probably would be filled with mats. There's mats in the corner, and that's where they sleep at night.
Now, we had things that we gave them, okay? By the way, Claire and I spent many days in rooms filled to the top with the donations that would come in. The cars would drive up and drop things off. The mail would bring boxes, so there was always donations to sort. We talked about, and I'll let you read that, but you get the idea that a lot of the materials that we could not use that came in. We didn't need table lamps. We didn't need large size clothing. These people are coming in, they're emaciated, poor, and hungry. So we couldn't use a size 2X, okay? So the good piece is anything that came in was either recycled back to the Salvation Army, St. Vincent de Paul, or there was a place that actually would take what we have and give us what we needed.
Small men's jeans, tiny. Small men's jeans, tiny. These people were, oh my gosh, I mean, a medium was too big for the most time. So they needed really small items.
We figure they'll get over that, a couple years in at McDonald's. We helped prepare the food. Again, as we have said often, the first priority was to get some hydration, soup, something to drink to the children. And then the other people would have something to eat, the adults. Finally, we put them on the vans that would take them to the bus station so that they could go home. Now, people coming into this respite center stayed usually less than 24 hours. Our job was to give them, the things that they needed. And we have some of these up here, and I think it's worth a little bit of a show. You saw the shoes? That's what it's like. We tried to give them new shoes. We sent them with packs of food for the bus trip, okay? The bus, it also included a white bread bologna cheese sandwich, which we sometimes went, why? I can't imagine these people really liked it. Okay, but anyway, that's what they got. But donations, most likely. We had toiletry packets. You've heard about the problem at the border. These have the soap and the toothbrushes and everything else that they might need for the trip. And of course, water. And for the children, small stuffed animals, okay? You see on one of the pictures, you saw the children in the parking, or in the playground area. Not a whole lot that day when we took the pictures, because they had already left for the day. But one of the pieces that we want to make sure people know, this always just hurts my feelings, okay? The children that we had coming in, while the parents were processing their papers and getting everything ready, that, by the way, that little sign there is what they took, their papers are in there. Okay? The children were out in the back, sometimes 40, 50, 100, some kids, playing with the big toys that we couldn't give to them, things that got donated that we didn't think we could use, the big toys, okay? Claire and I are both, former teachers, and it was like, oh my gosh, there's all those kids out there and there's no supervision, okay? Okay. If you see something that needs to be done and you think you can do it, do it. So we decided we'd supervise the playground. Okay? It didn't take us long to realize they did not need supervision. They took very good care of each other. If there were toys, one child might play with it for a while and he would offer it to another child. They did not fight, they did not hit, they did not yell at each other. They were unbelievably good. So to see them in the concentration camps, they don't need that. That was really hard when you realize that type of thing.
I know, and one of the scary things is that they are wonderful kids, and these are future Americans. And I used to just look at them and go, how do we convey that to people, that these are the most promising of people? And it scares me to death to think what's going on with them in those cages. I just, they're going to create what they don't want, which are angry, hostile people. And it's our fault. That's the American way right now. It's like, I don't know how they can't understand for their own good. Because they're going to grow up and live next to you. I'm laughing because it makes me so anxious and so angry that I can hardly watch what's going on. So they're beautiful, beautiful people.
I don't know if we need to say anything more. These are pictures that CNN took. These are people that are waiting outside to get in. Their next stop would be like the McAllen Center that we worked at.
Cages.
Okay. So the other thing that is happening now, once upon a time, McAllen, where we were, addressed every person that the security people brought in, that allowed in, okay? Currently, there are so many people coming in that the Border Patrol are just releasing them into the streets. They have no assistance once they get here. If you paid any attention to Pence's travels, this is the kind of place that he visited. This is families. Mm-hmm. He was at McAllen.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's where we were at McAllen, and so the people that you see in the respite center come from there.
we have one of those folders. These are the lucky ones. They're going to their sponsors. They are in.
I think they've changed the law on sponsoring. It used to be anybody could volunteer to sponsor. I think now, do you have to be a relative?
Yes.
Now you have to be a relative, which means that a lot of people that would like to sponsor families or whatever can't. I mean, that's our government.
And as you can imagine, not everybody has a relative here. Okay. Now, our talk wouldn't be complete except if we didn't tell you about what we did. This is our journal entry from day 4. We did go to the border. I want you to take a good look. This is the American side. We also went to several of the places that you have or will be hearing about because they are going to be impacted by the border. We were at the Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge, by the way, during the time when there was the federal shutdown. Not a whole lot of services. We were also at the National Butterfly Center. The National Butterfly Center is amazing because it covers several different types of environments that butterflies and birds, oh, the place was, have we ever seen anything like that? Oh my gosh, all these beautiful winged things flying around all over the place. In the trees, notice that those trees have Spanish moss on them. About a half a mile away, they don't. It's back to desert, but you can see what it's like, and you also see another border picture of what it will become. While we were at the Butterfly Center, we could hear the bulldozers in the field next door, leveling the farmland. Their farmland down there is different. Remember, they're desert? So when they plant a farm, their furrows are almost, they're up to your knees. If you walk in the furrows, they're very deep. They have to collect the water. That's what you're going to get. It was really just disconcerting to hear that bulldozers doing that. We also went to the La Melita Mission. That's a nice, lovely place that when they put up the wall, because there's usually like a mile space between the actual border, okay, and it's inside on our land. The La Melita has been there since like the 1850s or something like that. It is an active parish mission church, and it will be on the other side of the wall. well, yeah. It's on the wall is going to be,
Won't be able to get there.
no. Now, we mentioned that we had been nuns on the bus. We learned a lot. First of all, being a member of the Nuns on the Bus is, why would we do something like this? Because we were a nun on the bus, and you just have to do things after that experience. There were things that we learned that are very applicable today. Relationships. We want you to get to know Carmelita. We want you to know about what's going on at the border, so we encourage you to pay attention to the news. It's not good. We want you to care, which means also get out there and act a little, okay? We look at inclusivity, reach out and draw in. Would you please reach out to the public officials? Okay, Glenn Grothman needs some encouragement, okay? Yeah, who's he? I kind of go, I think he kind of knows us. At least we've been bumped up to the level of, we have letters that are written to us now that actually address the issues that we talked about. So we have been relegated to a staff member, okay?
One of the best things I ever did was I downloaded the list of all the senators and representatives in our government, and I started off with calling 10 offices of people that I knew would be a positive interaction. So, you know, they come on, the staffers come on, and you chit-chat and all of that, and you let your opinion be known. Then I went to 5 of what I would consider to be really probably difficult calls. And that was most interesting because the first thing they ask you is, where do you live? And they will say, well, we don't have time to talk to you. And I'm like, well, I'm a citizen of the United States of America, so you'll make time. And here's what I'm going to tell you. You have to be really persistent, but you know, they'll hang up on you after a while. They'll go, well, I need time to talk to people in Kentucky. I said, well, you know, I travel through there every once in a while. Just don't let them stop talking to you. So, you know, so it's interesting. And then I go back to 10 more people that I know will be a positive experience, because you know, you do have to take care of yourself. If you start off on that list of people that you know are really diversity haters, you're gonna. I mean, it's so depressing. It's like, oh my God, I can't dial another number. But I'd encourage you to download that list. Call people. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to go anywhere in, you know, a few minutes on the phone, but be persistent. It's great. You feel like you've done something even though you're still sitting in your chair at your house.
And it works.
It does.
It actually works. Diversity, got it. But one of the pieces that just strikes is that abundance-based solutions. We cannot accept the fact that, oh, it's too many people. We can't do this. We don't have enough money. This is the United States. So, that more or less concludes our thoughts today. We'd encourage you to get active politically. Right now, it's difficult with donations. Just, you know, the physical things we've collected. As you can tell, we got animals ready to go, okay? We've got stuffed animals ready to go. And you can make direct donations. Money is always appreciated. But advocacy and prayer and support and the bringing in people, inviting people in and talking, getting to know, getting to care. So, thank you.
All your senators and representatives, call all of them.
We have a few minutes to have some interaction here. And after the sisters have agreed to come back here at 11:30, so have more extended conversation. Somebody have any questions or?